talk about some thrillers. Honestly, I think one of the worst endings to a thriller I've ever read. Absolutely live for that shit. Oh my god. Oh, love it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am doing the Thrilling Thrillers book tag. As you know, I am all up in my thriller jam at the moment, so I'm really excited to be doing this tag. No one tagged me, no one asked for this video, but damn it, I want to talk about some thrillers. I have been binge watching the videos of the Queen of Thrillers, Hailey Hughes, recently, and she did this tag. She said anyone could do it, she wasn't tagging anyone specifically, so I'ma do it. I will of course link her video down below as well with the original video from the original creator. Basically though, today we are just going to be talking about some of my favourite thrillers, some of the worst thrillers I've read, what I do and don't like about thrillers, all things thrillers. So if you would like to hear my answers to the Thrilling Thrillers book tag, then just keep watching. So the first question is, what is the most recent thriller that you have bought? And I actually bought my most recent thriller just a few days ago. I was in a charity shop, of course, because that's where I get most of my thrillers, and this one was peaking out for about 99p, so of course I had to get it, and that is Little Darlings by Melanie Golding. I didn't know anything about this one until I saw it in the shop, but the premise immediately grabbed me, so I had to pick it up. This book follows two women. So we have Lauren, who has a terrifying encounter in the middle of the night where she believes that someone has tried to get into her house in order to steal her two newborn twins. So she locks herself and her sons in the bathroom until the police arrive, but once they arrive it is seen as a false alarm. There's no evidence that anyone tried to get in or that she is in any danger whatsoever. And then we have DS Joanna Harper, who is picking up all of the instant calls from the night before. Lots of the usual calls from drunks, wrong numbers, prank calls, all that jazz, but then she comes across Lauren's call, which is a report of an attempted abduction, which was 15 minutes later put down as a false alarm. There's nothing on the CCTV, there's no evidence whatsoever, but DS Harper is determined to help out Lauren, and she must decide whether her and her sons are actually in danger or if this is all in Lauren's head. This one just sounds so interesting to me. All of the comments on the back say that it's haunting, it'll stay with you, it'll get under your skin, it gives you goosebumps. I'm hoping it's going to be a good sort of disturbing thriller that is going to keep me up at night. The next question is, which thriller have you most recently added to your TBR? And if you watched my September TBR, you will know there is a thriller on my TBR for this month, and that is Before I Say I Do by Vicky Bradley. I have spoken about this one a couple of times on my channel, both when I hauled it I think and obviously in my TBR. But this one basically follows Julia, who has some secrets that she doesn't want anyone to find out, including her fiance, and on her wedding day she believes that she's going to be able to put all of that behind her. She's stepping up, she's going to marry the man she loves, and her past will stay in the past. However, when she walks down the aisle, the man that turns round at the altar is not her fiance, it is his best man, because her fiance Mark is missing and Julia's past is closer than she thinks. This one is supposed to be a good twisty psychological thriller. Psychological thrillers are some of my favourites, and we know I love a good twist. So I am really hoping to love this one. I am still planning on reading it before the end of September, so hopefully I will have some thoughts on this one for you guys soon. The next question is, which thriller did you have high expectations for that ultimately let you down? And this one is a no-brainer. It is a thriller that I actually finished last night that I am still so disappointed in. This is a kind of spoilery because obviously I'm going to be talking about it in my reading vlog, which will come out on Wednesday, but we're going to talk about it anyway. That book was The Midnight Man by Caroline Mitchell. I actually got this one as an ARC from NetGalley, and I hate giving bad reviews to ARCs because I am so grateful that I'm being allowed the opportunity to read them early and review them. But if a book is bad, it's bad, and I'm not gonna lie about it. The Midnight Man basically starts with this legend in the town of Slayton of this game that you play where you go into an old abandoned building, you and your friends sign your name on a piece of paper, put your blood on it, put it in front of the front door, and then you light a candle, you're in the dark, you knock on the door 22 times I believe, and on the 22nd knock that has to coincide with the clock striking midnight. You then blow out the candle, you all light a candle of your own, and you have to explore this abandoned building in the dark until 3:33 AM. And if you survive, you get to leave and you've won the game. So at the beginning of the novel, 5 young girls from the town of Slayton all go and play this game, but while they're playing it, one of the young girls goes missing. The house where they play it is called Blackhall Manor, and we know that there was a tragedy in this house 20 years ago where a man supposedly went mad, shot all of his family, and then shot himself as well. We then follow a number of detectives, including Sarah, who is a detective on the case with a bad past of her own and her own demons, and she is trying to work out who the Midnight Man is. She gets a letter from the Midnight Man posted through her door telling her that the Midnight Man is going to continue to come for each of those young girls that signed their life over to him unless Sarah kills herself. And that is basically the premise of the book. I know it sounds so intriguing. The beginning is like shock, horror, start. I was so excited to continue with this book. The first 50% I was hanging on every page. However, once we got to the 50% mark, it did get very dull. I was bored. I was reading it because I wanted to know what was going to happen. I wanted to know who the murderer was, how it was all going to pan out, but the actual writing that I was reading wasn't doing anything for me. I was purely turning the page in order to get to the end to find out what was going on. And the end, honestly, I think one of the worst endings to a thriller I've ever read. That book is an absolute classic for something that I feel like so many thrillers do, which is where they start off with this amazing, exciting premise, but the author just doesn't know where to take it from there. That is what happened in this book. The ending, to me, didn't really make any sense. The murderer's reasons for their actions were stupid. And then, of course, there was a bit of bad mental health rep popped in there as well, as if to try and justify those reasons. Honestly, I just hated the ending so much. I thought it was stupid. I gave the book 2 stars. I was so disappointed because I was so excited and I thought it was going to be such a good thriller, but it just did not live up to my expectations whatsoever. The next question is, what tropes do you love and hate in thrillers? I'm going to start with the bad ones first. So something I hate in thrillers is the idea of the scorned woman, or the woman that goes mad because she didn't get the man she wanted, like that sort of thing, where usually the guy is like happy with his wife or whatever, and then this woman from the past that he didn't give enough attention comes and kills all his family. Like that sort of thing. That whole scorned woman gone crazy and coming back for revenge. I'm not here for it. I hate it so much. Fair enough if she's got a real reason to do what she's doing, but the whole scorned woman trope I think is just dead. Like, I don't like it at all. As you will be able to tell from my previous comments on the Midnight Man, hate a bad mental health rep twist. I hate when we read this book and at the end of it you just get to the end, it's basically like, ah, but she was mad so that's why she did all that, and there's no real reason for the person's actions. There's no real reason for why they're struggling with their mental health. It's just another thing to add to the stigma around mental health that basically just says anyone with mental health issues is a murderer, and I hate that. Hate it. Don't have any time for it whatsoever. In terms of things I love in thrillers, my favourite thing is an unreliable narrator. Absolutely live for that shit. Love it. I love narrators that have blackouts, so they don't know what's happened. Narrators who maybe can't remember. Final Girls is a great example of that. The main character in that can't remember what happened during her massacre that she was involved in, so we can't really rely on her throughout. You've got a girl on the train who had blackouts because of her problems with alcohol, so we can't trust everything she says and everything she remembers. You've got people who are lying to you because maybe they've done something wrong and they're speaking the first person and you know they're not telling you the whole truth. Oh, love it. Unreliable narrators are the best. I also love a shock twist ending. The best thrillers for me are the ones that end with a shock twist at the end, like a big bang ending where you're just like, oh my god, like did not see that coming whatsoever. Yes, amazing writing. And I'm also a huge fan of isolation thrillers. I need to read more isolation thrillers because I've actually not read many at all, but those thrillers that are in an isolated setting where you've only got a few characters and they're all stuck with the murderer but we don't know who the murderer is. Love that. Murder on the Orient Express, No Exit by Taylor Adams, that sort of vibe. Yeah, need to read more of those. The next question is to recommend an underrated thriller. And I actually had a bit of trouble with that because I'm not gonna lie, like pretty recently I have been reading more sort of hyped up thrillers, less than underrated ones. But one that I would say is underrated is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I read this one on my Kindle earlier this year and I've heard so many bad reviews of this book, like calling it really average or less than average, and I really enjoyed it. It basically follows a wedding party on a remote island off the coast of Ireland. Again, kind of isolation because they're all stuck on this island together and one of them is a murderer. We're at the wedding and then a dead body is found. That's how it begins, and then we start going back and forward. So we'll go back, we're getting different perspectives of different people at the wedding, from when they arrived on the island to leading up to the murder. We've got all these secrets between the different guests, we've got betrayal, we've got conflict and tension, and we're learning more and more about that as we go on, while we're also flashing forward to the present when the body has been found and they're working out who it is and who has done it. I love that. I thought it was a great concept. I was hanging on every page. I really liked all of the different secrets between the different guests and how those sort of twists came about people knowing each other you might not have known knew each other and their past together. I loved it. I read it so fast, I devoured it. I really enjoyed the writing style and I thought it was well written, but a lot of people really don't like that thriller, so I would say it's underrated. I would say it's a good one to go for if you are a beginner to thrillers, because it's a very easy read and it's not too convoluted. But yeah, I loved it. Okay, the next question is a fun one. It is a game for you guys to play in the comments. So basically I have to show you 3 books, 2 thrillers which I have already read and 1 thriller that I have not. And you guys need to comment down below what book you think I have not read. So it's a test for all you loyal subscribers out there who has been watching my reading vlogs and wrap-ups. So I thought this queen of thrillers needed a mention in the video, so I've decided to go with all Lisa Jewell books. I have 3 of her books here, 2 of which I have read, 1 of which I have not. I have The Third Wife by Lisa Jewell, I have Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell, and I have I Found You by Lisa Jewell, obviously. So 2 of these I have already read, 1 of these I have not yet read. Can you guess which one it is? Also, bonus question, 1 of these books was the book that got me back on my thriller kick earlier this year. 1 of these books I powered through in a 24-hour vlog and I absolutely adored it, and I have been reading thrillers ever since. Which one was it? Let me know in the comments. The next question is to recommend some thrillers for beginners. So I have a few that I thought I would mention. The first one is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This one is one of my all-time favourite thrillers. I love it to death. I think it's so well written, but I think it'd be a good one to get you into thrillers if you're already a big romance reader, because it is very romance heavy. It is a romance thriller, so that might be the best way for you to get into thrillers if you are a beginner. In this book we follow the character of Lowen, who is a failing writer. She's then given the opportunity of a lifetime to finish off a series for this author Verity, who has been in a terrible accident and is paralysed in what we think is a coma, I believe, so she is not able to finish off this series. So Lowen is hired by Verity's husband to complete the series. So she moves into Verity's home, where Verity is upstairs in a hospital bed being cared for. She moves into the home. She has a little peruse around her office for clues as to how Verity was going to continue this series, and she continues to write it. However, when she's there, she also finds what looks like a biography of Verity's and finds out some disturbing things from Verity's past. She also begins to get a little bit of a thing for Verity's husband while she is there, while Verity lies upstairs comatose. And that's all I'm going to tell you. You don't need to know any more. All you need to know is it is amazing. It is so tense. It is quite dark. It is quite smutty as well, so if you're not into that, maybe don't read it. But if you're a romance reader, I would say this would be a great start for getting into thrillers. Another one I would say as well is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This one is a YA thriller, which makes me think it'd be good for beginners because it's a little bit easier to read, it's not as complicated, the writing is easier than adult writing. I would say this one surprised me because knowing that it was YA, I thought it would be a little bit more simple than it was, but I absolutely loved this book. The twists in it are incredible, but because it's YA writing, I'd say it's more accessible for new thriller readers. In this one we follow the character of Pippa, who for her end of year project decides to investigate a murder that took place in her town a few years ago. A schoolgirl named Andy Bell was supposedly murdered by her boyfriend Sal Singh, and he then committed suicide soon after, so he was never able to plead his case. It was never really investigated, it was just signed off as that is what happened. However, Pippa, along with some other people in the town, do not believe that is what happened. So she decides to investigate, and she gets herself into a lot of trouble in doing so and finds out some very dark secrets. Honestly, the twists in this are amazing. It's such a good read. Again, I read this for a 24-hour reading vlog and I ended up reading the second one as well, which was also amazing. So yeah, highly recommend this for beginners. And the final question is, what is your favourite thriller of all time? which is a massive question. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer that. So I'm going to talk about a couple. Obviously, first of all, I have to say again, Verity by Colleen Hoover. One of my all-time favourite thrillers. I love it so much. I just think it was amazing. Honestly, the best. Another one that I read really recently that has made me a huge fan of this author and I need to read all of his books is Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I also read Final Girls earlier this year as well. Both of those books I have given 5 stars, both 2 of the best thrillers I have read, but Last Time I Lied just pipped Final Girls just a little. In this book we follow the character of Emma, who when she was a young girl went to Camp Nightingale. When she was there, however, 3 girls went missing and never returned. Now, a good number of years later, she is asked to go back to Camp Nightingale because they are reopening it. She is asked to go back and teach art, which she decides to do because she believes she can go back, solve the mystery of where these 3 girls went, and therefore put all those ghosts to bed for good. In this, we do have kind of an unreliable narrator because Emma, the whole thing about this is last time I lied. Last time she was there, she lied. She told lies. We don't know what those lies are to begin with. It takes time for all of that to unravel. But again, the twists in this, absolutely phenomenal. Amazing thriller writing and just the whole camp setting. Loved it. I want to read more books with camp settings, so if anyone knows any, particularly thrillers or horrors based in a camp setting, please let me know because I loved it. So that is it for my Thrilling Thrillers book tag. I am not tagging anyone in particular. If you want to take part of this tag, then please do and just say I tagged you. I would love to hear some of your own answers, so please let me know if you do. Tag me in the video if you pop it on your own channel. I would love to see it. But as always, if you did enjoy this video, then do please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more bookish content from me, comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings. I love you all and I will see you in my next one.